Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Live It Up, the show where we explore and discuss how to take your life to that next level and beyond. We cover health, wealth, relationships, and how to create a life you absolutely love. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson.
I'm Amy Ellingson.
Nice to have you on the intro.
I know, I'm not usually here for this part.
So, hey, Amy's going to be joining us today, and we're going to be discussing a topic I know nothing about called...
You don't want to say it, you're scared to say it, aren't
Yeah.
you? Peripheral neuropathy.
Peripheral neuropathy. She says it's important and that people should know about it, so I believe her. Remember, health is the first wealth, so stick around and we're all going to learn something new together. But before we get to that, I want to remind you that if you have questions you would like us to answer on or off the air, email them directly to me at fletcher@fletcherellingson.com. If you feel stuck in an area of your life, whether it's financially or in your health or in your relationships, get into action and reach out to us. You don't need to suffer. There are answers and solutions and ways to get unstuck and move forward powerfully.
All right, so I get to talk now.
All right.
It's nice that you're in black because I'm in black.
We're back in black.
We're back in black. Alrighty, so before we get to talk about peripheral neuropathy, which is, I know it's hard to say, but it is very interesting.
Yes.
Let's talk about something exciting in your life, in our life, and the NCW area life, that you have an upcoming seminar.
I do.
So what is it called? And tell me, and I already know actually, so tell everyone what it's about.
Yeah, sure. So we have an upcoming seminar January 24th, which is perfect timing because people will have just made their resolutions and they're like getting in gear to, hit their goals. It's called NCW Business Breakthrough. So this is specifically for entrepreneurs, business owners, salespeople, service providers. Come to this seminar, and it's going to be about really taking their business to that next level and discovering what's been holding them back, what's been getting in the way of them, reaching their goals and taking that business up to that next level.
Yeah, we were just talking earlier today, right, about the fact that, you can only kind of get so far without someone kind of holding your feet to the fire.
Yeah.
So this is that sounds kind of painful, it won't be, but...
Yeah, we won't be holding your feet to the fire, literally, but we will be asking you a lot of questions to get you to really consider things and consider your business from a different position. And it's called Business Breakthroughs because there will be opportunities for you to have breakthroughs, so to see your business in a new light. To learn different tools that you can begin to implement and get different results and ultimately it's about shifting people's thinking. If we can shift their thinking, if we can get people to think differently, then and only then can you get different results in your business. And I forgot to mention, it is going to be at Pybus Market.
That's so beautiful down there. It'd be a fun place to have. So it seems like you frequently gravitate toward helping small businesses and entrepreneurs. So why do you think that is? What are you so attracted by in them?
Yeah, good question. I love small businesses because they're the heartbeat of our country. They really are. We have our Apples and our Amazons who are these massive companies and they employ lots of people, but still every single town in the United States, what really is supporting them is small business, the mom and pop shops, those entrepreneurs who had that idea and then they go out and make it happen, which creates revenue for their families, for the community. They employ people. Small businesses really are the heartbeat of our country. They are what make our economy go. And I've been a small business owner for, decades. And so I know the challenges that they have and I want them to be able to overcome those challenges to continue to thrive because it's a tough business. It's challenging. It can be challenging, and frequently they feel isolated and alone. And we can learn from each other's mistakes and our successes. So this is why I love them so much, and because I'm one of them.
Yeah. And it seems like too, if you're part of one of those big corporations, you could get help from HR, or you could get help from legal or whatever, but when you're a small business owner, you are legal, you are HR, you are everything, and so there's a lot riding on their shoulders. And they're also, a lot of times it seems like those business owners, they know their employees quite personally, and so they feel a big responsibility to keep being able to pay them.
Absolutely.
So to keep the doors open.
Yep.
So what do you kind of already talked about it, but do you feel like Are there more is there more you want to say about the biggest challenges that the business owners and entrepreneurs face?
Yeah, what I've found is that business owners frequently feel, well, first of all, like they're an army of one.
Yeah.
Right? So they feel kind of isolated and alone, like I already said. But they also spend a lot of their time in the whirlwind of management and persistent worry, right? It's the first thing they think of when they get up. It's the last thing they think of when they go to bed. They probably even dream about it. It's constantly on their mind. And, they got into business because they had a vision and a passion. And so they got into that business and started creating it. But what they didn't anticipate was that there was so much more to running a business than just creating the product or providing that service. And so they're worried now about having to make payroll. And suddenly, the thing that they were so excited about doing now becomes the biggest source of stress in their life, which is running their business. And a lot of times they feel like they're treading water. And their biggest fear is that they're going to go under. And with going under, they'll lose their business and they'll feel like they'll lose their identity and oftentimes their family, right? They're just everything that they know that they're certain about. And so what I found is that then they try to get desperate and start throwing money at social media, online advertising, or they go to seminars and look for that next strategy because we're all addicted to that next strategy. And what's different about this upcoming seminar is it's not about the strategies. Yes, there will be a few key strategies, but it's way more about mindset and shifting your thinking so that you can approach your business radically differently and get radically different results.
Yeah, and I wonder too, I feel like we've heard sometimes that there's a fear of not of going under, but there also is a fear sometimes of getting big.
Yeah.
There's also a fear of like, gosh, could I handle it if I got too big, or like, what am I cut out for the big league? Or,
yes.
Or what if like Amazon started wanting my product or something? Like then I'd be in big trouble.
Right. That's sometimes we say some people are fearful of success.
Yeah.
And I never really got that, but what you just kind of summed it up very nicely is that people are, if I get too big, I can't play at that level.
Yeah.
Right? And so they'll begin to self-sabotage and play a smaller game.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that the people could expect that are going to attend?
Yes. So I'll give you a few of the strategies that you're going to learn. So first of all, you're going to learn how to attract your ideal high-paying client with a zero advertising budget. No funnels, no Facebook, no ebooks, no podcasts, no intimidating tech whatsoever. That's one of the things. The second thing is you're going to learn about the overlooked, time-tested principle that is going to help you generate a six-figure business. And if that sounds too good to be true, it's not. I've done it. You can too. My clients are doing it. So come and check that out. If you haven't yet reached that six-figure business point, I'll show you how to do it. And then finally, my favorite is you're going to learn the underutilized super tool that determines whether or not a business soars or crashes and burns. It alone determines the health, growth, and overall success of an entrepreneur.
Excellent.
Yes.
Do you want to share with the audience some comments from your other clients that they've gotten from working with you that are business clients?
Yeah, sure. I'll share
to help
one.
us understand.
Yeah, you bet. So one of my clients, recent clients, just gave me this fantastic testimonial. I loved it, and she says, being successful at business is not a matter of if you have what it takes or not. It's a learned behavior, and you have to learn it and practice it often. And she said, Fletcher has taught me how to change my mindset around business, to think, act, and operate as an entrepreneur, and my business is expanding tenfold because of it.
It's exciting.
That is really exciting.
Yeah. Your clients feel good when they work with you.
They do.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to be involved with them at that level.
So tell us the details. How can people sign up? How much does it cost?
Yes.
What are the details?
So January 24th is when we're meeting at Pipus Market, and it starts registration is at 8 a.m. So get there at 8 a.m. Get your seat. Get checked in. We start promptly at 9 a.m. We end at 5 p.m. And again, this is here in Wenatchee, Pipus Market. January 24th. You can register online, or sign up online, I should say, at FletcherEllingson.com. Go there, click on Seminars over on the right-hand menu button. The drop-down will say NCW Business Breakthroughs. Click on that, sign up, take advantage of the early bird special, which is $100. That ends November 25th. After that, it will be $150, so take advantage of it.
And I think seems like you're always willing to talk to people if they're not sure if it's right for them. It seems like you're always more than happy to correspond by email or text or phone than if someone's not sure if it's the right fit for them.
Yeah.
Or even if, like, should I bring my team or should I just come? And those are great questions that you seem like you're always willing to answer.
Yeah, and I love that. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, if you've got a team of salespeople, if you've got a team that you've launched a business with, bring everybody, because the more that they're in this conversation, it empowers the entire company.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. It's exciting.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back to talk about...
You still don't want to say it?
Peripheral neuropathy.
Good job.
All right, stay with us. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live It Up. We're here with Amy. We're talking about peripheral neuropathy. And when you first brought this up as a topic, I had no idea what it meant. I thought it was something to do with eyes or vision.
Yeah.
But what is it?
Yeah, so I think it seems like the peripheral vision is what everyone knows that word from. But so we'll break it down. So neuropathy means that there's something that's not working right with a nerve or nerves, or it's damaged for some reason. And peripheral really means on the edge. That's why peripheral vision is on the edge of your vision. The word peripheral, or on the periphery, little vocabulary session. So peripheral in your body means, in this peripheral nerve is a nerve that is outside of your central nervous system. And your central nervous system is defined by your brain and spinal cord. So all of the nerves that are outside of your central nervous system, your brain or spinal cord, are called your peripheral nervous system.
So all the nerves in the hands are peripheral.
Yes, so and more specifically, the peripheral nerves are classified into sensory nerves, and they receive sensation such as temperature, pain, vibration, and position sense. So all of those things. Like where your finger is. If you bend it, you can kind of know where it is. It's interesting. I mean, you take it for granted, but those are the nerves that are taking in all of your senses. And then you also have motor nerves, obviously, that cause muscle contractions if you want to bend your finger or your arm. So those are motor nerves.
Not so obvious, because I didn't know that. But
okay,
yes.
Well, the nerves control your muscles, right? I mean, that's how you get your muscle to move, because your brain tells your nerve to move your muscle.
Got it.
And then there are autonomic nerves, which control symptoms that are control functions that we're not in control of consciously, like your blood pressure, your heart rate, your digestion, and your bladder. So your autonomic nerves affect how your stomach empties, how your intestines move, how fast your heart is pumping, the tone in your arteries.
Does that fall into that or not?
That's actually, your breathing is actually controlled in your brain stem, but the nerves that control your diaphragm are peripheral.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what does someone with this condition complain about if they've got neuropathy?
Well, I mean, it's most commonly known. So peripheral neuropathy will cause weakness, numbness, pain, and other nerve dysfunction depending on where it is. But those are the most common ones we hear about, where people, usually in the hands and feet, people will have numbness or tingling. I think you've probably heard of people talking about that. That is peripheral neuropathy.
Got it.
When people have those symptoms. So I'll just move on to explaining what's actually happening. So your peripheral nervous system, like we said, it sends information to your brain and spinal cord, and your brain and spinal cord send information out to the peripheral nerves. So the peripheral nerves can get damaged. The sensory nerves can get damaged from traumatic injuries, if there was a crush injury, or if you had a nerve that was cut, obviously, something like that. Infections can cause problems with the nerves. Metabolic problems like diabetes is the most common thing we think of that damages the nerves. Exposure to toxins like heavy metals can damage the nerves.
Can I ask you something about heavy metals?
Yeah, I don't know a lot about heavy metals, but go ahead.
When people talk about heavy metals, what are they referring to in the body?
Well, no, they're not referring to anything in the body. They're talking about exposure to like lead and mercury.
Right, but like, isn't it like ingested somehow? Isn't it in the body, like lead poisoning and all that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it gets stored in your tissues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So lead, and what was the other one?
Mercury would be the most common ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So how would someone know if this is an issue for them?
Well, so again, the most common thing would be the symptoms in your feet or legs. or sometimes in the hands and arms, but less commonly. People will, again, definitely the most common thing I hear is numbness or tingling. Burning and stinging can also be a symptom. Again, mostly in the feet, because those are the longest nerves in your body. If you think about that, the longest nerve in your body is to your big toe. And so it's affected more because it's more distal and more prone to being affected. But you can also have symptoms in your hands and arms. For the sensory nerves, people will usually report a gradual onset of numbness, tingling, or kind of a prickly sensation that will usually start kind of maybe at the toes or the fingertips and then spread upward. It can also progress to a sharp kind of burning or jabbing pain. You can also have extreme sensitivity to touch, even a bed sheet or clothes. You can have lack of coordination because you're not getting the normal input. So if your foot normally is on the ground, it tells your brain where you are in space, where that you're touching the ground. If you can't do that, then you may be less coordinated. People will also feel the sensation that they have a glove or a sock on when they don't. There's just kind of this sense of pressure. If a motor nerve is affected, then you're going to have, dysfunction of that muscle. So you're going to have paralysis or partial paralysis. So meaning the muscle isn't working at all. That could be a muscle in the eye. It could be a muscle somewhere, else in your body. If an autonomic nerve is affected, those are the ones we talked about that affect digestion and blood pressure. You may have slowed emptying of your stomach. So people with diabetes will get this, and it's called gastroparesis, where food and liquid and stuff isn't being emptied quickly enough from the stomach, so you get symptoms from that. You can also get...
A quick question,
yes.
Sidebar. But what would be a symptom?
Oh, so they will have feeling really full, feeling nauseated, not being able to eat much, maybe even vomiting.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in autonomic, just another one we see quite commonly is in Parkinson's. It affects the nerves to the blood vessels. And so normally when you stand up, your body, the nerves, again, your body is amazing. So the nerves in your body know to constrict your blood vessels to keep the blood pressure up in your brain, because your brain doesn't ever want to lose any pressure. If it does lose any pressure, it puts you down on the ground.
Right.
It makes you faint. So in Parkinson's, when they go to stand up, they don't have that normal response, and their blood pressure drops, and they may be faint, or they might just feel like they're going to faint, or they have to sit down or get dizzy, that kind of feeling. So that's another type of autonomic neuropathy.
That is fascinating.
It's very fascinating.
Yeah.
We could go all day.
Yeah, but we can't. And let's take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live It Up. We're here with Amy, and we're talking about peripheral neuropathy, and we covered a lot of stuff in the first segment. So, two more questions for you. What causes people to have this type of nerve damage?
Okay, the list is long, and we only have a few more minutes, but the most common one I see is diabetes, and more than half of people with diabetes will have neuropathy of some kind. The other one I see very commonly is alcoholism. The nerves become damaged from the alcohol, and also from when people are drinking too much, they're not eating enough, and they get vitamin deficiencies. And the third most common cause that I see is chemotherapy also causes peripheral neuropathy. There also is there's a long list that we don't really need to get into, but
A quick question about alcoholism.
Yeah.
Where do they experience the neuropathy?
In their legs usually,
okay.
Feet and legs, yeah. So let's just move on to our last question, because I want to make sure we talk about that.
Yeah, so I think people listening to this, they would be like, gosh,
Yeah.
I don't want to have this. How do they prevent it, or what do they do if they've got it?
Yeah, so you really want to make sure that you control your medical conditions. Go see your doctor regularly. Make sure that you're staying on top of your health. If you don't feel well, go to the doctor. So you want to control your diabetes. You want to get your A1C as low as it is healthy for you to get, depending on your age and risk factors. If you have hypothyroidism, that's something that also causes neuropathy. You want to make sure you're taking your medication. If you have an autoimmune illness, you want to do what you can to make sure that your body's immune system is working well. If you're drinking on a regular basis, daily or many times a week, you want to make sure you drink more of a healthy amount, which would be at the most 2 for a man, and for a woman 1 to 2. That's about a healthy. If you have had any intestinal surgeries, like a gastric bypass surgery, you want to make sure you're taking the vitamins that they recommend that you take. I've seen that also as a common cause of a B12 deficiency. You want to make lifestyle choices that support nerve health. So eating a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, lean protein that gives you a lot of the vitamin Bs. If you are vegan or vegetarian, you want to make sure that you're taking B12 because you won't be getting that if you're not eating any animal products. And then you want to avoid things that cause nerve damage. Again, like alcohol, being careful if you're going to be exposed to mercury or lead. And then smoking is also obviously damaging to your arteries and therefore your nerves. And the other thing that I would really stress is that if you're having any symptoms of neuropathy, then you really want to get it looked at right away. A lot of times we can't find the cause, and that's really frustrating, but there's tests that you can do to figure out what exactly is going on. There's neurology specialists you can see, and there are a lot of medications that are out there to help with the pain and tingling. If we can't reverse it by replacing your vitamins or treating your medical condition, if the nerve damage is irreversible, then there are medications that can help with your symptoms. But a lot of times this can be reversed, like as a chemotherapy neuropathy can resolve after you're finished. B12 neuropathy can be treated with B12. So you really want to get to your doctor as soon as possible so you can get treated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea. Okay, well that's all we've got for them today,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right, so you guys know what it's time for now. It's time to get out there. Be a source of kindness. Be a source of contribution. What can you do for your community? You've got something to offer this world, and we believe in you.
And hey, maybe we'll see you at the seminar.
And maybe we'll see you at the seminar.
Yeah.
January 24th, Pybus Market. Sign up at FletcherEllingson.com.